Hello, folks out there in internet land, and thank you for tuning that dial to the Eek channel. My name is James, and today I am joined by my co-host.
You get your boy Cody over here. He's back.
He's back.
He's feeling a little bit more alive after a long weekend.
You know, Labor Day is a pretty nice. It's a pretty nice day for podcasting.
It's a nice day for everything.
Yeah,
recognizing the labor.
Sure.
That happens in the United States. I was actually looking up today, like, what is the history of Labor Day?
That's interesting.
It wasn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be.
No.
That's fine. It's what you would think. Like, the labor unions were like, hey, we want to make this day where we recognize all that we do. And I'm sure, like, way back when, it was like, you got Christmas Day off, and that was it.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, we got another day. And now we have all these other days, and it's really not. It's just another day. It's one of the lackluster days that we get off, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the weird thing about it at this point is probably the people that should get it off at this point are the ones that don't.
Yep. I really love the people that wave, like, their American flags on Labor Day. It's like, yeah, I guess, but it's probably not as patriotic as you think it is.
Definitely not.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
America.
Well, yeah, and then the people, like I said, the people who don't get... I feel like Labor Day... kind of existed, like you were saying, for people who don't get bank holidays. Right. Maybe the only day they got off was Christmas. Well, I mean, today, that's not your factory workers. That's more like retail. And like all of those businesses are still open.
Still open.
Not only still open, busy as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I'm part of the problem. I went to multiple stores today.
Yep. It's great.
Yep.
I got so many things and ate so many things.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, back to horror.
Anyway, this is a SpoilerVision episode, which means that we just watched a scary movie, and then we are going to give you our immediate hot takes and review to determine if it gets the original Eek seal of quality. It gets grosser every time.
I know, but we've been missing it for a while, so
you haven't done it in a bit. That's true.
I feel like I had to jump in there. So
all right, so this week we are watching / have watched Chopping Mall.
Chippy, chippy, chippy. Sometimes my sound effects are good. Sometimes they suck. I don't know. If you've seen the movie, that was probably pretty spot on. Woo! Chippy, chippy, chippy.
All right. Well, Chopping Mall is a 1986 science fiction comedy horror film co-written and directed by Jim Wynorski.
Okay.
It's produced by Julie Corman, starring Kelly Maroney, Tony O'Dell, John Terisky, and Russell Todd. Also, for some reason, not making the top of the list. It also has Barbara Crampton in it, who...
That's surprising.
...is the only one that I really recognized.
Yep.
I mean, she's, in Reanimator. She's in From Beyond. And more recently, she was in You're Next.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, great. For some reason, not in the opening description.
Weird.
On Wikipedia. I don't know.
Whatever.
So I'm actually really excited to read you the back of the box for this movie. First of all, part of it is wrong.
Okay.
Because they say that the characters are holed up in a mattress store. But it's not strictly a mattress store. It's just a furniture store.
And, I mean, I guess for a minute.
Yeah.
But... they get out of there pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say that was the crux of the storyline.
Definitely not.
Anyway, let's continue.
And then also it just has so many puns. And so as I've been doing this for a while now, and a lot of times when I find these movies, I will purposefully try to look up an image, like a scanned image of maybe the full VHS box art.
Sure.
So I can try to get the most legit video store back of the box experience as possible. And things have changed.
Yes.
Since, say, the 80s, whenever VHS tapes were a thing, of what we put on the back of boxes.
Oh, you have so many great movies around here, and I would love to pull a couple off just to see what they say.
Oh, man.
I would love to see what they say.
And sometimes they go into a lot of detail about the actors that are in it and stuff, and usually those are the ones that I'll manipulate and not read those parts because that's not really why we're reading the back of the box. We're really trying to get a plot synopsis.
Right.
And so, but yeah, this one is pretty great. I've seen a trend in a lot of 80s movies where whoever had the job of typing this copy.
There's just one guy. And like after he did like all the major blockbusters and then he did horror at like 1 a.m.
Well,
It's just like,
I
hate my life.
The major ones, though, I like to feel like there was like a circle, like council of copywriters for VHS tape boxes that like came to a conclusion, like, oh hey, like this is how you write good VHS copy.
it's pun season now.
It's always pun season.
Yes.
The more puns you put on the back of the box, the more likely that movie is to be rented and or bought.
86 was puns. 87 was like question marks. Like how many question marks can you fit on the back of the box? 88 is the elliptices, like the ...
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I like the sound of this.
This has a lot of ellipses in it too.
I like this. Okay.
It's puns with ellipses.
Yes. I like this. I'm in.
All right, let me honestly, it's so long too that I might have to restart the music.
Sure.
So we're going to see what happens. See if I can scroll down here. It's not going to let me scroll down. That's fine. All right. Some people will kill for a bargain. And at the Park Plaza Mall, they do. Here you can shop till you drop. Dead.
Stop it.
High-tech robots equipped with a state-of-the-art security device have been recruited as the new night watchmen for the Park Plaza Mall. When a jolting bolt of lightning short-circuits the main computer control, the robots turn into killbots.
Yes.
On the loose after unsuspecting shoppers. Which, they never attack any shoppers because it happens after hours.
Yep.
Okay, sidebar. 4 couples are trying to make it after hours in a mattress store. They make it all right in the morgue.
No.
At Park Plaza, you can save on everything but your life. Every one of these pauses are ellipses. When I take those hard pauses, they're all ellipses. And I'm not done.
Stop
Shopping mall, where they slash their prices and their customers.
Yes. Yes. That is incredible. That it fits the movie so well.
It is. We had a great back of the box last week, but this one's even better.
This is unbelievable.
All right. Do I have a drink? I do. I couldn't find my beers hidden behind the computer. To Chopping Mall.
To Chopping Mall.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, folks, that sound means that we are back.
And we're back!
With our thoughts to you.
Let's go.
With our thoughts.
With our thoughts.
We're back. We're coming back to you with our thoughts
With our thoughts.
on Chopping Mall.
It was incredible. Oh my.
Oh, man.
I have so
think-
many thoughts.
I think that's why I couldn't talk, just because of the movie. Okay, I could not find box office numbers.
Okay.
I did find an estimated budget of $800,000.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Right?
All of the mall rights?
Maybe that might be part of it.
Yeah.
That might be part of it.
I mean, they did have, sorry, just
No,
to
you're good.
continue on that. I mean, they did have a lot of big names in this.
Yeah.
Whether not actors, I'm sorry, like brand names.
Sure. Well, it is shot in a real mall.
Okay.
It is the Sherman Oaks Galleria. It is the same mall used in the movie Commando, 1985, and they had some scheduling conflicts with shooting Commando and this movie because it were both being shot kind of around the same time.
Okay.
So this movie, because of the way that it had to be shot after hours. And so that made budgetary stuff different as well.
Sure.
There was actually a little bit of a feud between the actual head of security of the mall and the film crew, because basically they were allowed to film there, but they really couldn't, like, everything had to be put back exactly the way it was before opening.
Yeah.
And so, like, this guy was a big dick about it and, like,
Yeah.
kept saying they were trying to that they were like messing stuff up and like
Right.
vandalism, and he's just being a real douchebag.
Yep.
But the actual proprietor of the mall basically was on the film company side and was just like, shut the fuck up, we don't care. Like,
Yeah. You're making a movie in our mall.
right,
This
exactly.
can only go one way for us.
Yep, we're getting money, and maybe people will be like, "Oh, it's cool, this movie was made there," and then
Right.
they'll come to. Like,
Yep.
so it's a win-win-win-win.
Win.
All the wins.
All the wins.
Okay, so during production, this film was called Robots.
That seems to make a lot of sense.
Yep. Later, they changed the movie to Killbots.
I like that.
It was released as Killbots in some theaters,
Oh.
and it did so poorly that they thought that they should change the name and re-release it with something a little more tantalizing. And so a janitor suggested,
my.
a janitor
Stop it.
at the production studio
Stop it.
suggested Chopping Mall.
Stop it. There's so much of this that makes so much sense. This movie, like, it's hard. It's one of those movies you could get down the wrong rabbit hole too fast.
Yeah.
There's just so much. It is. You're making your pot of soup, and you go to the cabinet, and instead of measuring things, you
Start dumping them in.
You just take whatever's left in the canister, and you just start dumping in all your
Yeah.
seasonings, all your flavorings. And honestly, Killbots is probably the best title for this. Like,
Yeah. I'd never seen this movie before tonight. I've heard of it a lot, and it's been on my list for a while.
sure.
I've seen the cover. The cover's amazing, but there wasn't as much malliness maybe in this movie as what I would expect from something called Chopping Mall. I guess I expected more what was on the back of the box of maybe the mall being open while the movie's taking
Sure.
place, which obviously it is not, which you can't not draw comparisons to Dawn of the Dead at that point.
Yeah. Well, and I think there for those who are looking for kind of that nostalgia itch, there are plenty of mall shots.
Yeah, it's there.
I mean,
there.
there are some big name brand stores that you get
Mm-hmm. lot of Diet
shots
Coke in this
of.
movie.
Yeah, but like, I think especially hearing the back of the box, like, I think I would have expected more people other than our 8 compadres that we start with.
Right.
Even at the beginning of the movie, they're like rolling out the security feature.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, I assume those were like investors or shop owners or something.
Yeah, I think those were all
Like-
owners of stores, or at least managers of the stores.
We didn't see them again, period.
Pointless.
like-
Pointless scene.
It was other than to tell us about these robot security guards.
Which they could have done as just a tape. Maybe
Yep.
a tape that was like a training for the
Yep.
employees who are
Yep.
working there, who are the actual characters that we're following, are
Yep.
all employees of the mall.
Yep.
I don't know.
It could have happened just in dialogue. Oh, we got these dickhead security robot things that they're
Oh, yeah.
introducing,
Open it
like-
up just like Escape from New York, just
Yeah.
with like dialogue. It's fine.
Yeah. It was, and like, so I guess I expected more drama from the mall management. Like, I don't know. I
Right.
don't like, like somebody to intervene, like you think about other storylines and like Nightmare on Elm Street, like the parents kind of start to get involved and
Right.
like Halloween, the sheriff kind of starts to get involved. Like,
Yeah.
nobody ever kind of started to get involved. Like,
There's never that like we don't get the payoff of like the boss realized, oh, we've gone too far
Right.
with the security thing. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have a character like the guy in Jurassic World who like decides to, he's like representing the guy funding
Right.
the raptor research, and
Right.
he's like, oh no, we're going for it. Like, you don't have that.
right.
You don't have that as a bad guy, and you also don't have the military coming in and actually fucking saving people. Like,
Right.
you don't have a good guy either. Like,
Yeah. There's nothing. It's really strange.
it's a strange. That is strange. So the film's negative, like the actual film reel negative, is still tied up in legal limbo. So most of what is available for it, as far as probably the streaming version that we saw, but also DVD and Blu-ray releases, they are all ripped from just a really good copy of the movie on VHS.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for it then.
Like,
Like
cool
who-
that it's still alive.
Yeah,
Somebody's out there keeping it
absolutely.
alive.
Yeah. Do we want to keep it alive? That's-
We'll get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It was shot in 22 days.
Oh, okay.
Pretty quick turnaround, but when you're dealing with a location like that, that's probably super expensive. Well, you know, that's
And
understandable.
limited cast. I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could do a lot of shots in one day.
Yeah. The director did all of the voices for the robots.
Good for him. Good. He was dedicated.
Have a nice day.
Oh, Lord. That was really good.
Cody, you want to tell us what happens in this movie?
Yeah, I would love to. So, unlike what the back of the box says, we have essentially we open our scene with this. I assume it's the company pitching these security guard things.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the mall head telling all the patrons who are renting out of their space,
Yeah.
this is what we're rolling out. We don't really know.
Something like that.
There are these robot things, and they kind of look like, I don't know.
I think the best description is they are most like the, I forget his name, but like the Lost in Space Danger Will Robinson robot.
Yeah.
It's probably
That's
what
good.
what they most look like when you're
Yeah.
comparing other movie robots.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And so we get some tongue-in-cheek, like, banter in that opening shot. And really, pretty quickly, we jump to some teenagers who are
Apparently teenagers that
apparently
are all
teenagers.
clearly in their at least mid-20s.
And we get successive shots where it's like they're planning to go to Susie's.
yeah. Well, they're hanging out
Yeah.
after hours in the mall. They're gonna like party in the
Yep.
furniture store.
Yep.
For
And
some reason, like, is there really nowhere else to party in
there's
this
nowhere
town?
else to
Like,
party. Definitely not. Definitely not.
It wasn't that cool. I mean,
Oh, bro. Your
especially when they work there, though. Like,
your dad or uncle or whoever it is doesn't own a mattress shop in the mall.
that's true.
Like, you
That's
don't even
true.
know.
That's true.
So,
But three of our characters work in that mattress store. So they're
Work
just
in the
hanging out
mattress
at
store.
work after hours. That fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I
it's
worked
stupid.
at a really, well, not really, but fairly cool used bookstore that it's still a store that I like to go to and buy things from. But I didn't want to be there when I didn't need to be there.
yep, still lame, still stupid. So that's kind of where all of our characters kind of converge.
Yeah.
Is this mattress store in the mall? It's not. This isn't like the furniture section of the like 2 or 3 decker Sears. Sears. I'm sorry.
Right.
Or JCPenney or whoever.
Right.
No. This is a storefront in the mall.
Full-fledged
Furniture
store, which maybe was a thing in the 80s. This is a
Maybe.
real mall, so it was probably a real storefront they were using. That seems crazy to me. I guess maybe you go in, pick your furniture, pick your fabrics, and then they deliver it
Yep.
to you? Probably.
That's what I would have
They
to
probably have a
assume.
warehouse somewhere that
Yeah.
builds the stuff and brings it to you. And
There are back doors to malls, and I've been there once or twice, but I don't
Oh,
want to tell
baby.
you why.
oh, baby, going to the back door of the mall.
It wasn't as fun as it sounded. And so our teenagers start partying,
Yeah.
and they're like, we get the kind of virgin-esque couple who
Right.
they're trying to just weave their way through this kind of
I don't remember
semi-romantic evening.
any character's name
Rick.
except Rick
I remember Rick.
and Susie.
Okay, I don't remember.
Was it Rick
Susan.
or was it Mike?
I think there was both, but I think it was
Okay.
Rick.
Okay. Maybe Mike was the one who was with Susie.
I think the one that I'm trying to remember was Rick.
Okay.
So, and that comes
Your
in later.
boy.
My boy Rick. And so we have three couples who are just going to town. They are in after hours mall mode
Yeah.
with mattresses.
Right.
And then we got this other couple who they're just trying to navigate young love.
Yep.
And it involves sweaters and
Sure.
glasses
Always.
and Oxford collars.
That we have buttoned down. Then we unbutton. Then we pop.
Then we pop.
Then we lay back down.
Yeah,
Unbuttoned.
because that's ridiculous. And then that's really when we start to get the robots out of control. We do see, I want to, like, everything that feels like should be super important in this movie is like 5 seconds.
Right.
Like the lightning storm that maybe sent these things into berserk
Happens very fast.
Oh, it was
and
so
it's not really
fast.
explained.
No, and
Yeah.
it could have set them off or not. Like, I feel like the back of the box made it sound like it definitely was the cause.
Right.
And in the movie, we don't get that.
It's just not that big of a deal. So
No.
lightning strikes.
And then all of a sudden
the robots go wild. Wild, but they kind of turn.
They kill the two scientists
Right.
or thing. I think they're supposed to be scientists looking
It's
after them
scientists who are taking shifts on making sure they're
at the mall.
okay.
Yep.
Which is weird too because the one guy that was there, the first guy that dies, and then his shift is the one being replaced by the next guy that comes in, who we also see get murdered. But why is the first guy even there if the robots are only patrolling at night?
At night.
Why is he even there during business hours just to make sure they don't explode while they're just sitting there?
Brother, you are asking, like, the question of all conspiracy theorists. You can't go down that road. Because they knew from the beginning those things are going to go crazy. You can't
Like,
tell me in production.
Maybe
that they
he
didn't
was
know.
maybe he was like programming
That's the
them
problem. He was doing too
or
much. You know what I
something.
mean?
I don't know.
He should have been deprogramming him.
I guess. Hey, by the way, there's 3 robots featured in the film.
Yep.
They built 5
Oh.
just in case something happened during some of the action-y scenes.
Sure.
They wouldn't have to like fix it. They could just grab another one real quick. They're all actually remote controlled, and most of the time you see them moving. They're just being driven.
Stop it.
Just little RC cars under there, basically. Little RC engines.
Good for them.
Turning the treads. Like all that was practical. It was real.
Good for them.
I think my favorite part is whenever one of the robots tries to kill a janitor and shoots him. Well, tries to attack a janitor, shoots him with the taser and misses.
Yep.
And then, like, in my mind, like, oh, it's funny he misses, but also, like, how do they retract the taser back into the? Because the old school tasers, you had to like wind them back up.
Yep.
So like, how's the robot do that? Like, I don't even.
Doesn't need to.
Just shoots it out and then just leaves it.
Did he left it in the water?
He left
need
it
to.
in the water and got the mopping janitor.
He didn't need to. He knew what he was doing.
Oh god.
Anyway, we never really finished what happens in this movie.
Yeah, sorry.
Our teenagers who are romping around in the sack
Romping.
are discovered by our overeager, maybe gone crazed robot
Killbots.
police. Killbots. And from here on out, we get, I would say, not horror scenes. We get like 80s police chase scenes.
Yeah, very, very action-y, sci-fi-y. We get a great head explosion.
We get a great head explosion.
And I expected that to happen a lot more often.
Yeah.
And we never got anything like that again.
Nope. We do get some like weird, like, from the janitor, we get some like boily, like,
Yeah, kind of body horror.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then from the first boyfriend, I can't remember what his name was, but
Sure.
we got the throat cut, kind of like spraying a little bit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we don't get much horror. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like a lot of it is like, one of the guys we watched it with was like, this feels kind of like Lethal Weapon, like,
Yeah.
and that's a lot
Not
of it
wrong.
felt
Not
like
wrong.
80s police chase.
Yeah, I
like,
think that we've seen a couple movies that are like this that we talk about that didn't do well at the box office in the 80s. And it's like they're kind of bridging that line where they have just enough gore
Yeah.
to not be an action movie and to be considered horror, but not enough to actually keep the horror fans coming
Yeah.
back.
One very, I mean, as light of a head explosion as you can have. I would say it
absolutely.
was very light.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not as good as, say, Scanners.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah,
Cool, but
yeah.
yeah.
It was, meh.
Yeah.
And
then considering Barbara Crampton's pedigree at this point, when you're talking Reanimator and From Beyond, nothing remotely encroaching on that territory happens in this film.
No. And really, I mean, at this point, we're just kind of getting picked off one by one by our police killbots, and we get the last girl, and then maybe last guy.
Yeah, basically the nerd couple survives.
Yeah.
We thought the nerd boy was dead, but I guess not.
They hugged it out.
Shows up at the end. I'm still concerned that did we see all 3 robots get taken down?
Mm-mm.
I still think we only really saw 1 robot get taken down.
Maybe 2.
Elevator.
Maybe.
So maybe 2.
But I thought we confirmed that came back because it was coming up the escalator.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, he didn't get it." I thought she said something like he didn't get it.
I think that was the first one.
The first one.
Because the guys thought
with
that
the propane.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one definitely
Maybe.
came back. But yeah, I think the elevator thing happened after she said, "Oh, you didn't kill it." I think that the elevator one happened after that.
I think minimal, we still have one out there.
Minimal, there's 1. Maybe 2. Minimal, there's 1.
Hey, if you see a
Still coming
killbot
for you.
coming down the sidewalk, run. It has lasers.
It does.
Yikes, we didn't even talk about that. These things have lasers. They can shoot you. It's like Star Wars.
It's like Star Wars.
This isn't like, how did that not come up in the last 20 minutes?
I don't know. Except our, not to use this term in a bad way. I'm using this term in a very 80s horror movie way. Our slutty one, gets shot in the ass like 4 times.
Yep.
But she seems fine.
Yep.
And then she gets shot in the head and her head explodes.
Head explodes. and then later it's like, it does nothing, it does nothing, it does nothing. All ass shots.
Yep.
It hits her in the head. It explodes. And then it's more like a Star Wars like laser blast. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, it leaves a little singe.
Oh yeah, the other people got like burned when they got shot.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Maybe she. I mean, she clearly had breast implants. Maybe she also had butt implants.
Yep.
And so they were just bouncing off of the
Sounds about right.
fake butt.
Yep. Sounds about right. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. Sounds about right. I think that's about what happened in this movie.
That's pretty much it. So yeah, our nerd couple survives, but we think there's at least 1 more killbot out there.
It's out there.
At least that we know of.
It's out there.
So let's talk about how it looks and sounds. Looks like we've had this before with these kind of lower budget 80s movies. We had this with Popcorn.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself, Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984.
Okay.
So this is a movie that came out after Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
And it looks way older.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you're talking that, you're talking budgets, you're talking about more professional, not professional, but higher paid actors, higher paid and more experienced filmmakers and directors. So, like,
well, honestly,
that happens.
Yeah, I mean, even honestly, like, your acting crew is going to be older. Whoever this acting crew was older even 2 years than your Nightmare on Elm Street crew.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, Johnny Depp and... trying to think of the chick's name in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Heather Langenkamp.
Thank you. Like, they were significantly younger than our crew.
Yeah, had to be.
And even 2 years later was
right
significantly younger.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks older than a 1986 movie, but I mean that's kind of to be expected with the budget and for what it is. The sound is actually really good. I did read that they used some score from some other movies.
Okay.
Which happened a lot with these lower budget 80s movies, especially whenever synthwave became such a hard thing. Like, I forget what movie it was. Some movie that I talked about recently actually reused portions of Halloween 3's score in the movie because
Okay.
that movie wasn't as well received, so not a lot of people even knew what the score was, so they just shoved it in this other horror movie. No big deal. So that happened a lot back then. The score is actually pretty good for a 80s police movie.
Yeah. Yes. I would say that's where the line gets drawn. Like, this isn't an iconic horror film
No.
score.
No.
Like, this is... And, like, there are elements where it's like, ooh, they're going for a more suspenseful 80s crime drama.
Yeah. Some of it
But-
reminded me of Day of the Dead score, which I really, really enjoy.
Sure. But nothing is going to remind you of any 80s slasher, any Evil Dead. Like, none of that is going
It doesn't,
to tap
doesn't
into...
have that Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, like,
No.
creepy chimes or anything like
even
that.
even going to the low hanging fruit of like Friday the 13th, like just the sound effects, like it doesn't have that.
No.
So, but it's fine. I mean, I think
It's fine.
I think sound, for me, sound in this movie is less appealing than the look.
Sure.
Because the look is 80s. When
Yep.
from scene one, it is
So much
80s horror.
Aquanet
Oh,
on the men and the women.
the hair is just it just screams it. Like, as soon as you start watching it, to me it engages. It's like,
for
this
sure.
is 80s horror. And is it horror? I don't know, but this is 80s horror.
Oh yeah.
Like-
I can't imagine that Stranger Things season 3 Duffer Brothers have never seen Shopping Mall.
Right.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Because even though like there's a certain aesthetic to just 80s mall, like I felt like there was a certain aesthetic to this mall and to Starcourt in
For sure.
season 3.
Yep. The stair shots, the escalator shots,
Yeah.
the elevator shots. Absolutely.
All right, so is it scary?
No.
Not even a little bit.
0% scary.
Yeah, definitely not a scary movie.
Nope. Everything is 100% predictable. It's not like in the terms of like okay, let me back up. It's 100% predictable, period.
Yes.
But sometimes predictability of a movie and predictability of scary are different things.
Yes.
And in this, they're hand in hand. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, no, it's not scary.
Not a scary movie.
Nope.
Is there anything that you could even consider scariest moment? I don't even know if there is one.
When old girl is on her date, we got 3 couples in the back doing the dirty, and she takes off her sweater to put it back on.
I still don't know what happened there.
She like, I think, untied it from her shoulders to like actually physically put it on. And that's when that's when you know a date's going bad.
It's not going well for you.
I think that's maybe the scariest moment.
Yeah.
Also, we get some close-ups of like 80s men faces. There's one early on when it's like it's the guy who's like trying to sell this security feature.
Uh-huh.
And he like shows the badge and like it scans his face and his badge. That's pretty scary.
Okay.
And then the janitor has a similar scene before he dies.
Yeah.
Scary.
Okay. Best kill.
Oh, this is the one we've been waiting on.
Let's go, my friend.
So we got this boy named Rick, and Rick's a real tryhard. And
Rick.
actually, for the most part, Rick he's kind of a likable guy. He's kind of the lone wolf kind
They're
of feature.
married, right?
I think so. I think
Out
so.
of everyone in this situation, this couple is married.
I think
they run their own
automotive
business.
Yep.
Like,
Yep, he seems to be the most endearing. They seem to be the most disconnected from the like weird like teenage love circles that we're
Right.
kind of in. And he's kind of the lone wolf, and so I like Rick. And then Rick's wife seems to go down. And it's really, you have to see the movie to know what's happening. Because literally they told this actress, like, hey, in this scene, we're going to go ahead and CGI. Obviously, they didn't use those terms, but
yeah,
we're going to CGI
special
some
effects.
like lasers and lightning and stuff around you. So just keep swaying back and forth. And so there's like 30 seconds where she's in the scene. It's like, girl, just keep running. You're okay. Just keep running. And she like stops and she starts like swaying back and forth like she's dodging these lasers. But then like halfway through they stop shooting the lasers. So it's like, why aren't you running or doing something? And she's like swaying. And then she gets hit with a laser. It's like, girl, all the swaying you've been doing, how'd you get hit? And then Rick goes off.
The man.
Now, up until this point, Rick has really had a plan for everything.
Yep. Very level-headed.
He shoots. This is either an M16 or an M4, depending on the year and the models of these guns. He is shooting the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this dude knows what he's doing. And he is 3 feet from the robot that just shot his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he decides to go ahead and retreat to this little single man, little like mall cart. Like you see him in the airport a lot. And it's a single man golf maintenance cart thing.
Yep.
And he gets on it.
It really is. That's
And
what
it doesn't even have a steering wheel. It has like the bar.
Yep.
It has like the steering sway bar.
Uh-huh.
And he gets on it and he runs it into the robot. and then he gets electrocuted and falls off and dies.
Yep.
That's my kill. It was epic. It was the least predictable scene in the entire movie. And then the best thing is they show like the cart later.
Yeah.
And it's just perfectly intact.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they moved
I like to
it up.
think so they weren't allowed to, like what I was saying, like
Yes.
they couldn't mess anything up.
Yep.
I like to think that was actually property of the mall.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we want to use this for the scene, but we got to be really careful with it.
Can't damage it. So we're just gonna like roll it up against it and make sure that none of the fake CGI fire is on this, because just in case somebody questions it. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the best.
Best kill.
one. If you had to pick another one, it's gonna be the head explosion, just because it was the only head explosion of the movie.
Also, old girl who caught on fire and looked like a man.
Oh
while she was on
yeah.
fire.
Barbara Crampton. We clearly see her replaced with a stunt double in a wig whenever she gets caught on fire. It's very obviously no longer her physique anymore.
Yep. There's some good kills in this.
It's not too bad. On that note,
It's not great.
okay, we're gonna move into thumbs up, thumbs down, and our nuggets. I'm gonna give you the option. Would you like to know where this is at on Rotten Tomatoes before or after you give me your opinion?
I have my opinion, so I'll take it.
Okay, it is currently a 56
Okay.
on Rotten Tomatoes, 56%. Our nugget scale is very similar to a Rotten Tomatoes type scale. Nuggets are percentages. Rotten Tomatoes has a tomato meter. We have a nuggetometer.
Nuggetometer.
So I'm actually going to start us off.
Okay.
As much as I love Barbara Crampton, as much as I love movies and malls, as much as I love really so bad it's good horror movies, I give Chopping Mall a thumbs down.
Whoa!
And you probably were not expecting that.
I was not expecting
I
that.
had fun with this movie. It did make me laugh. I think there are other movies that do the same or similar things much better.
Sure.
The fact that it did everything that it did and still had kind of no class, I guess.
Sure.
I talk about it all the time. Nightmare on Elm Street's one of my favorites. Yes, it gets really campy in the series, but like I still think that the effects and the artistry of Freddy is handled in a much more delicate way than anything was handled in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so definitely getting a thumbs down from me. I'm going to throw, although I didn't hate it though. So like I feel like it still gets a decent nuggetometer rating on my part. Not like great, but I'm going to give it like a 40% nuggets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Which, if you didn't know, the worst movie I think that I've seen so far this year was The Curse of La Llorona, and I gave it literally 0 nuggets. It got no nuggets whatsoever. So, like, I would watch this movie again, but I don't love it.
Sure. So I'm gonna take the same approach but differently.
Sure.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
I thought it was entertaining. Like, it's you have to know what you're getting into, and it is a borderline movie at best when it comes to the horror genre.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like, for me, who goes through like late September and October, begging, borrowing, stealing anything that I haven't seen before,
Sure.
or looking for recommendations. If a longtime friend said, "Hey, you should watch this. It's kind of a fun, weird movie that your wife could definitely watch with you," like,
Oh yeah.
I would do it. The thing is, though, like, I would pray to God I didn't pay money to see this movie. So, like, so you can do. I don't remember how long Shudder has like a free trial.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks or 30 days or something
like that. 14 days or 30 days. I can't remember.
So, like, in that
Actually,
time,
at one point, I think it was like 3 months. Maybe they're keeping that model going. I don't know.
yeah. So here's kind of my pitch, and we're in September of 2019. So if you're listening to this 40 years in the future, like, it doesn't probably apply to you, but like, here's the thing. Like, you get that free trial of Shudder, and you're trying to pack in as many horror movies as possible. Like, yeah, go ahead and throw this one in because it's really funny and really campy and like really stupid.
Yeah.
Even if you are paying for a subscription to Shudder, like, what is it, $8 or $9 a month? $5 a month.
$4.99. Yep.
So you're talking, like, if you're watching 10 films a month out of Shudder, this is 50 cents.
Oh, it's definitely better than some modern stuff that I've watched on Shudder.
I've watched some really, really crappy horror movies in the last year. Windmill.
I was gonna say it's gotta be better than Windmill, right?
Flatliners, like the original Flatliners. Like, there's so many really crappy horror films, and I don't mean to offend anybody if those are your two favorite horror movies.
Sorry.
But like, this one was, at least to me, in the genres that I like and kind of the veins that I like, entertaining. So I would say, like, thumbs up, but like, I don't know, 10 nuggies. Like, I mean, it's got to be a package deal. Like,
right.
Don't go seek this one out. Like, don't get on eBay and try to buy a Blu-ray.
That was the thing. I knew this was a Barbara Crampton movie. It has a name like Chopping Mall. If you see the cover, it's like this metallic robot hand holding a shopping bag full of body parts.
Oh.
Like, it looks so much better on the outside than the
no.
contents that are on the inside.
No.
So I'd seen that cover. I knew Barbara Crampton was in it. I was amped about this movie. I've been wanting to watch this for a long time. I almost, because it's not super easily available on Blu-ray. Like, really the only way to get it on Blu-ray is a really nice, like, collector's edition that they did of a bunch of cheesy 80 movies.
Sure.
And, like, it's just in the set.
Yep.
You don't have to buy the whole set, but, like, you know, it's that edition, and it's fairly expensive. It's not easy to come by any means. So, but I've been on the verge of dropping $40 to get that Blu-ray.
Don't do it.
And no.
Don't do it.
Now I'm so happy that I didn't, and I could just watch it on Shudder.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Get your free trial of Shudder. You spend no nuggies on it. You spend no money on it.
Yep.
You save all your money to go actually buy nuggies and
get some
eat
chicken
them
nuggets
while you watch a free horror movie.
Which you definitely can't eat them while you watch it because there's almost no gore in it, so you're not even going to get grossed out eating chicken nuggets watching it.
Nope. Yep. That's I would say thumbs up, but like limit. I would say if I had to draw a line, 11 nuggies.
Yeah.
Which is like
yep.
Baseline
$1.10.
$1.10. Yep. Nope.
Yep. All right. Well, do not forget that SpoilerVision episodes are not our only episodes. Eek Speak is our horror house party, and you, my friends, are invited. We record it live on YouTube every Monday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'd love for you to join us and engage in real time. And also, a party just isn't a party without
people.
See,
friends. I'm sorry.
You didn't hear
No.
what Josh and I just talked about.
No.
And that is that, and maybe I should preface.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that answer.
Okay.
Because I think you're trying to give me what I want.
Maybe.
But I've actually been having a lot of fun with setting up that question, and then whoever's on the other side of this table gives me just some random ass answer.
Ask it again. Ask it again.
Okay. And a party just isn't a party without...
French onion chip dip.
Oh, God, that's so true.
I mean, like, let's be honest.
You got to make sure that you're drinking a lot of beer.
Yep.
Eating a lot of French onion chip
Oh, baby, with
So-
them wavy chips.
dip so that you can throw up the chip dip in your friend's yard, right?
That has happened.
That's what we have to do.
Oh,
we have to make
Lord.
sure that that's what happened. But
Yep.
in all reality, man, a party's just not a party without guests. And if you would like to be a guest on Eek Speak, you can just reach out to us on Instagram at Eek Channel. That is EEKCHANNEL. You can also email us at hello@eekchannel.com. You can also just go to eekchannel.com. You can click a little be a guest button in the upper right-hand corner. Sign up that way. We'll get to you. We'll get you on the schedule. It'll be awesome. So, if you want to help the show,
Come
you
on.
can, rate, review, comment, like.
Love
You
it.
can do all of those little internet thingies. You can also subscribe. We're actually doing kind of a big push for YouTube subscriptions right now. YouTube kind of starts treating you more like a legit channel if you have at least 100 subscribers. So we're getting close. We're
Let's
at
go.
67, which is awesome. But if you could just help push us over the edge a little bit, give us a little subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube right now, just click the button. It's real easy. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're consuming us in another way, if you have a Gmail account, you secretly have a YouTube account. So you can just go to YouTube, sign in with those Gmail credentials, and look up Eek Channel and click that subscribe button. It would be a huge help to us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for listening.
We love you.